Trying to speed up is slowing you down. Now, hear me out because I know our egos do not want to hear this, but this conversation that we are going to have is going to be so impactful, so important, so life-changing, and truly is actually, as a byproduct, going to make things speed up. But before we get to that part, we need to begin with the basics. So, welcome back. I'm so grateful you're here. I'm so excited for us to dive into this source information, this source truth that has been, we've just been sold a lie. We've been sold a lie by society and by people because unfortunately, slowness and the really like building the foundation, it doesn't get that dopamine. It doesn't get the dopamine that so many of people nowadays are addicted to. So before we dive in, we need to understand what is really taking place here. We have more available, more technology, more developments and inventions and technologies that are coming online and that are taking place in social media and all of these things that are giving us faster results. Or we could just even look at the microwave. Like, we expect things quickly. However, I personally don't use a microwave. I have not used a microwave in years. Because you want to know what? Food tastes better when it is from the oven, from the stove, versus from the microwave. It just does. I believe it does because I can taste the life in it. This is akin, this is symbolism, and this is a reflection to other aspects of our life. Now, I'm not telling you don't ever use a microwave. I get it. There's a time and a place for conveniences. However, the way that we have begun to see the world is through it's like the lens is narrowing and narrowing and narrowing because we have these apps like TikTok, like Instagram, and it's like these, my goodness, the things that go viral nowadays are the things that are 5 seconds, right? And they've done these studies that it's like human attention span is like 6 seconds at this point, right? And what happens on a neuroscience level when we are constantly in this energy and exposing ourselves to this energy? I'm not saying don't ever go on TikTok or Instagram or watch or create these types of things. But I would invite you to get curious if it's really furthering you along in what you want, or is it just triggering that dopamine in your mind that makes you think you're getting further along, but you're not? What happens when we are continually exposed to the quick dopamine hits is there are different centers in our mind. Pleasure versus happiness. Pleasure is instant gratification. It's like that. It's not ever like deeply satisfying. We're going to need more. This is elicited by food, by social media, but genuine happiness. So pleasure is very much stimulated in the frontal lobe of our mind, the frontal cortex. And whereas happiness is and I'm forgetting the science words for this, but just bear with me, okay? It's like the amygdala or the deeper parts of our brain where true deep happiness, it's a felt experience, and it it's an embodied experience that we could never simply just get by just these quick dopamine releases. Happiness is rather like the oxytocin and the deeper layers of happiness that we can receive from this life. But if we're only giving ourselves the pleasure, the quick happiness, the quick pleasure, the quick dopamine and quick pleasure, we're missing out on happiness. Now, when we look at it this way, whoa, like we're literally robbing ourselves of happiness by only focusing on pleasure. So the way that we have, and I want to also preface with, this is like a contagion. This is a energy that is literally being pulsed into our collective in so many facets, that you can have what you want quicker, faster, greater, better. And it's this, if you really like feel into it, it's a very quick, it's a very frantic energy. It's a very, if you feel the levels deeper of it, it's a very frantic energy. It's a very unsustainable energy. Here's why this is important. Our nervous system is not built to be sustained on dopamine. This is why we are seeing so many people taking antidepressants, weight loss, my goodness, the myriad of injections and pills and diets and all of these things, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, and then all of the things that this leads to later on down the line, cancer, autoimmune conditions. This is why so many of these things are on the rise. Obviously, this is not the only reason, and obviously this is not medical advice. Seek professional support if you are struggling, but many of these things start from these low grade feeling unsatisfied in our life, right? And so when we feel unsatisfied in our life, it's really, the mind is like, well, I just want some type of pleasure. And so this is where we get those quick releases of dopamine from social media or from the person who is selling you, I can help you build a business in a week. I can help you launch your course in 24 hours. I can help you make $1 million in a month. I can, whatever these things that were being sold nowadays. And it's not that these things can't happen, but this is what I really want to nail home and to bring forth, is that there are universal laws set in place that by building a firm foundation, we now can actually tap into the quick growth. But this requires us to forego the immediate pleasure. This requires us to forego the dopamine release. This requires us to focus on slow growth, on slowly healing our body, on slowly building our business, on slowly creating deep, intimate love with a person. Now, I know this is going to go against what a lot of people want to hear, but what happens when we actually cultivate the strong foundation is then we tap into another universal law, and that is the compound effect. That is when if we make 1 penny in our business, then the next month we make 2 pennies in our business, and then we make 4 the next month, and then we make 8, and then we make 16. And so then when we get into that, but this is only done if we work on building the firm foundation. And so the firm foundation is not through allowing ourselves to succumb really to all of the external noise. Now, this requires our intuition. This requires our opening of our third eye, our trusting of ourselves, of where we're being led, because there are going to be things that happen in your journey that do happen very quickly. That is a soul aligned. That is when your soul has aligned and orchestrated that for you, and more than likely not because you just did all the right things. So when you look out, and I covered this in a recent episode that I was talking about, is that a lot of these people who are having this like very quick growth, this quick healing, this quick success, this quick whatever it is in their life, it's not necessarily because they did everything right. This is more so like a soul path, a soul thing that has been aligned. And if it is not sustained, and if it does not continue to grow, then we can see like they didn't take the time to cultivate the deep foundation of whatever that was. Okay? Because there are a lot of people who have not taken the time to create the deep foundation, and thus they lose it all. Even people like Elon Musk, for example, he's very successful, but he has lost billions of dollars because he even still has work to do on creating that firm foundation. Now, I'm not saying like he's made whatever, like whatever your views are on him, he's done massive strides and created massive things. But there is also an energy of when we take time to cultivate the foundation, to rather than focusing on how can I make this happen really, really fast and get the result that I want the fastest and the quickest and the whatever, we're missing out on the gold. Because you probably heard the saying somewhere along the lines, the it's about the journey. It's about the journey, not the destination. Well, here's what that ultimately means is that if we're going deeper into that, is that along the way, when we're not focused on just the quick getting there, along the way, we're going to attain skills. We're going to have challenges that give us new skills. We're going to meet people that are going to help propel us and support us in what we're cultivating. We're going to have experiences that could only take place had we taken the time to nurture and cultivate and be present to the journey. If we're just trying to get to the destination, we're missing out on all of these pieces. There are vital components and pieces along the way. Vital components and pieces, experiences, people, situations, learnings, challenges, expansion, and growth that along the way, we are going to go through and we are going to extract the wisdom. We are going to meet the people. We're going to have the experiences. We're going to overcome the challenges. And this is going to build us to become healthy, wealthy, in love, whatever it is that you are desiring to happen really quickly. When you take the time to embrace the journey and embrace the process and actually build the firm foundation, now you can tap into the compounding that will inevitably result. Now, I have learned this through one, studying neuroscience, two, studying the subconscious and unconscious mind, and three, like really studying the universal laws and how this universe works. Because when we understand how the universe works, we begin to see that we can't outsmart energy. We can't outsmart the system that we have incarnated into. Because while you are a multidimensional spiritual being, you are in this physical realm right here and now, unless you're an alien that's watching, in which case that would be like hit me up in the comments. But for everyone else, you are in a physical body. And so we have to play by the physical rules. Now, the physical rules are not what the government and everyone in X whatever is telling you to do. The physical rules are the laws of the universe. Gravity, like the laws of the universe. You can look these up, you can dive deeper into them. But the more that I have been learning these, like My goodness, one of the ones that I talked about again a few episodes ago is like the law of balance. When we really begin to get into the granular and understand this law, that everything is neutral, everything has equal good and equal bad. And when we apply these rules to the game, we now can play the game in a way that actually gets us what we want. It doesn't give us that quick, we think we're winning, all only to find we're actually feel like we're going behind or we're not making any progress, which you're never really ever going behind or not making any progress. That's just another perception of the mind. But there are ways to grow and there are ways to expand and there are ways to elevate in a way that is not bypassing. It's not like that is what this is. This whole like quick growth, quick expansion, quick enlightenment, quick healing, quick wealth, all of it. We're bypassing the wisdom, the gold, the truth, the nuggets, the everything that our soul wants us to extract along the way because we're so stuck in this fight or flight. And so really this takes a deep coming home, a healing of our nervous system, and a trusting that where you're at right here, right now is perfect. It might not be where Susie Q and Johnny P are, but that's okay because they have different paths than you. You, divine soul, are right where you need to be right now. And when you fully embrace that and trust that there is a foundation to build for everything you want to create, and any obstacle that comes your way is an opportunity to grow, is an opportunity to expand your skill set. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. Oh my goodness, that is another lie we have been told. We've been taught and told and brainwashed that like if things are going quote unquote bad, that like we must be doing something wrong. No, this is a feedback mechanism from the universe to give us new tools to overcome and to become that which we're asking for. And so this is why it is so common when we ask for something really big, challenges and obstacles will most likely inevitably come. Like if you're asking for $1 zillion, it's not just going to drop in your lap. The obstacles are going to come in order to become the person who has that. If you're asking to be healed, the obstacles and challenges are going to come in order to strengthen and fortify you to be that. If you're asking for the love of your life, the things that are in the way of you being an energetic match are going to fall away. Okay, like these things are vital parts of the process, and we can't try and bypass them. There's gold in them. There are nuggets of gold within every single challenge. And so when we learn to really embrace the fullness of the process, of the journey, of the growth, of our soul's path, this is when we actually can tap into that quantum leap, into that fast growth. But don't focus on the fast growth. Focus on the right here, right now. Focus on the journey. Focus on the challenge that is in front of you right now. And ask, what is the next thing I need to do? What is the next thing I need to become? Who is the next person I need to become? What is the next thing that I need to learn, embrace, overcome, become, right? And it's only then that we have the opportunity to really deeply have that like satiating happiness because we've taken the time to cultivate it. And this is a journey, my friends. This really is like a deprogramming of a survival mechanism part of our minds. This is something I have to attune myself to constantly. And I'm a hypnotherapist. I work with the unconscious mind. I understand these deep levels. I'm constantly learning about neuroscience and the way the mind works and health and healing and expansion and spiritual growth and talking with my guides and talking with source and my higher self. And it's like asking these deeper questions. And I'm still constantly having to come back to right here, right now. And when someone says you can have XYZ tomorrow, coming back to myself and being like, is this in alignment with my path? Is this in alignment with my truth? Is this really going to get me to where I want to go? Or is this just another dopamine hit? The dopamine hits can feel good in the moment. But when we train ourselves, this is really like a training. This is like going to the gym, because this is a training a muscle of not succumbing and not falling prey to every dopamine hit that presents itself to you. And this is hard in our world that we live in today. This isn't the easiest thing to do, but the more that we train ourselves to do this and get to that deep happiness, that deep fulfillment. And this isn't to say you can't have dopamine and pleasure. You can, but it's not, the difference here is trusting and learning to use our intuition of, is this actually going to serve me in the long term? Is this actually going to grow me? Is this part of my soul's path and journey? To get, like, if there's something I'm wanting really deeply and badly, then it's worth giving up the instant gratification in order to get to that deeper fulfillment and happiness, right? And so I really like to see this like almost like a scale. Like there are going to be things like, of course, like supporting and rewarding yourself along the way, but also like really having the ability to intuit, how can I be in this for the long run? How can I be in this for the long run? And when we begin to see that the long run is not just this life, but you are literally planting seeds for your next incarnation and your next incarnation and your next, that's when you really get into some deep gold. The wisdom that you are extracting and learning in this life will serve you not only for this life, not only the others that you are around in this life, but for lifetimes to come. It will support others for lifetimes to come. And when we can really approach our obstacles and challenges and opportunities in this way, my goodness, now we have breeding ground to create a magical life. So when you are ready to create this magical life, this is when our work together will help support you. And truly, I really believe that we are designed and destined to work with people along our path. So if you feel that pull to me, reach out. If it is to someone else, reach out. No longer waiting. We need each other and are meant to support each other in our path. And so the ways in which we can do this together are going to be one-on-one, a health report, miracle frequency. These are the 3 ways right now. If you feel like one-on-one would support you in holding you in this growth, this is truly like, this is for the people who are like, I'm dedicating to the journey of my growth. And I know that I'm inevitably going to get there, because if it's on my heart, it is a soul pull, soul path. And I just need someone to help support me and hold me and make sure that I can get there in the ways that are supportive to my soul. This is what one-on-one work is about. It's about having someone in your corner to help see your blind spots and to help you tune your intuition so that you are now making the right steps and the right moves in order to get to where you want. Plain and simple, because you can get there, or you can continue to try all of the things and hope you get there. The next would be a health report. If you are struggling in any area of your health, really ultimately, or life, these reports are so in-depth, so detailed, and are going to give you a report of exactly what your root cause is, how to solve it, and how to live an extraordinary life. I've never seen anyone do anything like this. You will get a report from me that has really how to live in alignment with your soul. And and the exact things to heal your body. Your gene keys, your human design, your astrology, along with all of the physical, what foods are going to be supportive to you, what lifestyle changes are going to be supportive to you, all of that in a little report tied up in a beautiful bowl given to you on a silver platter. That's the health report. And then lastly, if you're looking to amplify magic, miracles, and synchronicities in your everyday life, to see the divine in everything and to really communicate with your soul, your intuition, source, your guides, this is where the miracle frequency is, 8 days to miracles, and really then amplifying this and expanding this into your entire reality. All of the links will be below for that. If you enjoy this, if you know someone else who would enjoy this, please share this with them, share this wisdom. And if you haven't already, I would invite you to as well. Leave a comment, leave a review. It helps us so much. And reach out if you have any other questions. If there's anything else that I can do to support you, let me know you're listening. And with that, I'm just sending you all infinite love.